Belgium, famed for its exquisite architecture, mouth-watering cuisine, and urinating children statues. But make no mistake, this little nation is the beating heart of the EU, attracting bureaucrats from across the continent who are determined to maintain the survival of the Union and bring Europe together. So how did Belgium come to be? Who made Belgium what it is today? And how did Belgium become so bizarre? On October 4th, 1830, the provisional government declared Belgium's independence from the Netherlands, and a new constitution was adopted. This was following years of discontent from the Belgian people, who lived under Dutch rule. This culminated into civil unrest that broke out in Brussels. After independence, a new king had to be chosen. The National Congress in Belgium ultimately decided on King Leopold I, who accepted the position reluctantly. Unfortunately for King Leopold, he will be entirely eclipsed in history by his son and eventual successor, King Leopold II. King Leopold II is most famously associated with his colonial enterprise in the Congo Free State. This was most famously detailed by Adam Hochschild in his book, King Leopold's Ghost. In the book, Hochschild asserts that the Congolese were heavily exploited and forced to meet incredibly high rubber and ivory quotas by Leopold's men. If quotas were not met, a deliberate policy of cutting off hands and feet of the offender would be the punishment. However, the book is not without its critics. Dr. Bruce Gilley, a professor at Portland State University, declared the book to be a vast hoax full of distortions and errors. Moreover, Marcel Yabeli, a Congolese author and lawyer, once called the book the greatest falsification in history. Both men impugned the claims that King Leopold II was behind the violence in the Congo, declaring that the abhorrent treatment of the workers was because of native soldiers practicing Arab and African traditions by cutting off their hands as trophies or to show that the bullets they had fired had been used in battle. What can't be disputed is the recent shift in public opinion towards Leopold and subsequent removal of statues across Belgium. Leopold II is also credited with commissioning a great number of buildings and urban projects, earning him the epithet of Builder King. Some of the public buildings commissioned by Leopold include the Basilica of the Sacred Heart in Brussels, the Royal Museum of Central Africa, and the Parc du Cinquantenaire in Brussels. In August of 1914, Germany invaded Belgium, violating the country's neutrality and prompting Britain to declare war on Germany. This was part of the Schlieffen Plan, an attempt to capture Paris quickly by catching the French off guard by invading neutral countries. However, despite the Belgian people's best efforts to defend their land, they were no match for the advances made by the German army, and Belgium fell to German occupation. During occupation, the German military committed many atrocities against the Belgian people, such as looting, burning, and pillaging villages, as well as murdering and raping many civilians. Unfortunately, the Belgians didn't fare much better during World War II, with Belgium once again being invaded by the Germans. Adolf Hitler's lust to conquer France began with an invasion of the Low Countries. This was most famously named Operation Valgelb. This military invasion was to bypass the Maginot Line and attack France through Belgium. Thankfully today, things are more peaceful in Belgium. However, the divisions between North and South remain a contentious issue. In the north is Dutch-speaking Flanders. Flanders has 5 provinces. These provinces are Antwerp, Limburg, East Flanders, Flemish Brabant, and West Flanders. Inside Flanders is an enclave of Brussels. However, the capital city does not belong to the Flemish region and is mainly French-speaking. In the south is French-speaking Wallonia. Wallonia also has 5 provinces. These provinces are Hainaut, Liège, Luxembourg, not to be confused with this Luxembourg, Namur, and Walloon-Brabant. In recent years, independence movements in both Wallonia and Flanders have gained traction. There are also similar movements for Wallonia to join France and for Flanders to join the Netherlands. Language and culture plays a significant role in the independence movements in Flanders and Wallonia. The Flemish movement in Flanders has its roots in the promotion of Dutch language and culture, while the Walloon movement in Wallonia seeks to protect and promote French-speaking Walloon culture. Some supporters of independence argue that these linguistic and cultural differences make it difficult for the two regions to coexist in the same country. Another factor that has contributed to the independence movements is the economic disparities between the two regions. Some Flemish activists argue that Flanders contributes more to the Belgian economy than it receives in return, while some Walloon activists argue that Wallonia is not given a fair share of resources and that its economic development has stunted as a result. On the other hand, while independence movements have gained some support over the years, the majority of the population in both regions still supports remaining part of Belgium. The Belgian government has also taken steps to address some of the concerns of these regions, such as giving them more autonomy in areas such as education, culture, and language. Despite the country's political, linguistic, and cultural divides, football has always proven to be a uniting force for many Belgians, even if the results don't always go their way.